Welcome back to another episode of In Off the Bench. I am Mike Hughes, sitting here with the one and only Jim Cross. Opening day is here, and who better to spend it with than the man that you know as the 60 ERA guy, and we know as Joey. Joey, how you feeling, baby?
Doing great. How are you guys? Thanks for having me.
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. Jim, I know your allegiances have rocked some waves over the last couple of years, and you're figuring out like what's best for you. But how was your opening day, brother?
Oh man, it was good. Where the allegiance lies. Look, I got told by Dolander, stay with the Rockies, stay loyal. They'll be good. Hopefully Herring gets to call up, Connie gets to call up. We literally have like 6 guys on the show that are there, but I don't know, man. It was hard after I told you I pledged my allegiance to them last year, and then they finished in dead last. So we'll see if I can ride that wave again.
Yeah. How about you, Joey? You have any allegiance to a specific team that you grew up loving or anything?
When I was little, when I first started watching college baseball, I was big on South Carolina because they went back to back. But after that, I was riding the wave of whoever was good. So like the Vanderbilt era, I liked that. Vitello at Tennessee, I really like his coaching style and what the energy they brought. So I would say those. And then,
since you brought that up, Mike, on Tennessee, where are you at? Because Mike jumped on to the Vitello era himself. He wasn't a big college baseball guy. Yeah. He literally was looking into what fit his personality. That was Vitello. So, Mike, are you still rolling with Tennessee now that he's gone?
I actually thought about this morning. I was smacking on a waffle and I was just like sitting there and I'm like, I'm watching some Tennessee games and I could see the fellas are kind of frustrated right now. I don't really see, this is my opinion, Mike Hughes. This does not reflect In Off the Bench or anybody else here, but like my opinion, it looks like the boys are frustrated. It doesn't seem like everybody's fully bought into whatever they're selling over there right now without Tony. And that's understandably so. You know, it takes a little while. It's just like Bill Belichick leaves the Patriots. It takes a while to find that next guy. But I don't know, man. I think at the moment, for Randy's sake, I don't want to raise his blood pressure. I think I'll stay over here. But if there's a reason for me to go elsewhere, I think, the free agent market looks nice. I think, especially in college baseball, man, and the NIL deals and the transfer portal, it's never been a better time to be open to finding a new spot. And I think that's like one of the more interesting things that we've done, especially on and off the bench and pros and Joes, is we're following stories. So I think right now, even though Tennessee isn't where we want them to be, I still got a bunch of guys that we're going to be rooting for.
If I'm giving you the advice from all the interviews, from watching all the games, the team that fits your personality right now, and it's very similar to what Tennessee was, it's Georgia, actually.
Yeah.
They're just
can't. That logo is the Green Bay Packers logo, and it's not happening. I don't care if it's red and black. It's still that ugly G, and it's not happening. It's not.
Well, I'll tell you this, and Joey knows this from college ball. When we talk about Tennessee, I know we weren't even supposed to get on this, but they have Vanderbilt this weekend at Vanderbilt. If you want to know the cure for everything, it's going into your rival's house and beating them. Now, flip side of that is if they lose the series, the wheels could always come off. So, we'll see what happens this weekend. This one's a big one.
Hell yeah. Oh, wait, Jim, before we go, do you want to know who I didn't big game them. I just want you to know I didn't big game them. That is not me. That is not my person. I just was busy. Opening day in Chicago at Wrigley Field. I'm running around. I'm doing interviews. I'm having a blast. I bump into Kerry Wood. And then Kerry goes, "What's up?" And I was like, "What's up?" And then I kept walking. And my buddy was like, "That was Kerry Wood?" I was like, "Yeah, I know that was Kerry Wood." But like, Jim, I'm busy. You know what I mean? Like, what?
No, that's inexcusable. I think Joey's probably passing secret judgment on you right now.
No way, bro. I met Kerry Wood. I've interviewed Kerry Wood.
But it doesn't matter if you meet him. If you're a true Cubs guy, man, you take the time.
"What's up?" I said, "Hey, what's up, Kerry?" And then I just kept going.
Weigh in, Joey. Was that rude, man?
I don't think that's rude.
I don't think it was necessarily rude.
Like Joey, if you met someone one time and you interviewed them, or just like maybe less than 30 minutes, and then you see them again, man, you ain't gonna sit there and bother them, man. You know what I mean? You're not gonna "Hey, man, how's everything been? How's the wife? How's the kids?" He don't give a fuck. He's busy.
You would have done it for Zobrist.
Well, I know Ben. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying. Anyway, it's time to get into Joey's story. Enough about Mike Hughes. Yeah. Joey, I gotta know, man. So where are you originally from?
I'm born and raised in New York, Saratoga Springs to be exact. So I'm like three hours north of the city. and been born and raised here, still live here. I don't know if I'll be leaving here or not, but still up in New York.
So, I got to ask this off the top. If you're to pick one, Yankees or Mets, where are we riding?
Yankees, absolutely. Born and raised. Got to run with the Yanks.
He's a winner. That's all I know. He's a winner.
So where did you end up ultimately playing college ball at?
I played at Siena College. It's like 30 minutes south of where I live. And the big reason was I wanted to stay close to home. Had some family stuff going on in my early college career where I wanted to be close to home in case I needed to help out and stuff like that. If I hadn't, transferring and all that stuff wasn't really an option back then. So I was just like so focused on, as long as I did really well there, hopefully I would be able to play professional baseball. Didn't really go that way. I got injured. Thoracic outlet syndrome sort of derailed that. But yeah, I don't regret it. I was very grateful for my time there and had a lot of fun playing some really good teams.
Yeah, with the transfer portal the way it is, they would have saw the numbers you were pumping that baseball, and they would have been like, NIL deals would have came flying. Even with the injury, they would have, you know what, we'll figure something out, Joey. We got to get that arm here. So you definitely came through with the wrong decade for sure. But ultimately, you end up making these videos. As Mike said, you're the 60 ERA guy. What inspired you to start being these videos? Because obviously, man, they're amazing. Like you see it basically at 100,000 followers, people really enjoy it. So what gave you the inspiration to start doing that?
Yeah, my biggest motivation was I wanted to stay in baseball as long as possible. And if my playing career wasn't that route, I had to find a way. And I knew I was pretty decent at like making videos, because when I was little, I had this like big obsession with just watching YouTube and sort of like wanting to replicate what I saw other people doing. So like when I was little, I loved wiffle ball, blitz ball, and I saw people used to do blitz ball YouTube channels, and I couldn't get enough of that stuff. So I would watch that all the time. I tried to create a league with my friends and stuff as a little kid, and I knew like that was something I was interested in doing. So then once I got injured and I was like, okay, well, it doesn't look super promising with playing professional, putting up terrible stats in college. So I got to find a way to stay in baseball. And I was like, all right, well, this is a skill that I haven't really tapped into. Let me try to tap into that. And the rest is history.
Hey, but if anybody says anything to you, man, what are their stats in college? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you still went out there, man. You still did it. And that in itself is its own championship, man. But my big question for you, and it wasn't on our rundown, and it was just something that kind of came to mind when I'm really breaking down the 60 ERA guy. Now, I'm a man who remembers things. I'm not going to take it to the grave, but I will remember things. Jim knows I used to be Mike on the Mic podcast, and it was like super corny. There was a million different Mike on the mics. And then one day, this guy from ESPN, while I was covering a game, said, they just let any kid in here, huh? And we could tell that story another day. This is not a show about Mike. So I said, okay, that's fine. Then I became the shy kid. So the 60 ERA guy, is that just something where you were like, it's just a joke between yourself and your buddies, or did people really like, is that something people really like made with you?
No, I just made it like on my own, like
Yeah.
completely from scratch. We had like, and most colleges do this, but like end of the season meetings. So after my sophomore year, they give you like this whole rundown of like what you need to improve, et cetera, et cetera. And at the top, it just gives your whole stat line. And the whole season, I knew I was doing terrible. So I didn't look at it once. I was like, all right, I'll just look at the end. And it was 60.00. I was like, that is such a perfect number. And this is like right when I started doing the video stuff. So I was sort of in this mode where I was like, all right, initially, like it wasn't really kind of this entertainment type stuff that I'm doing now. It was more just like my own like daily throwing journal of like documenting my comeback. Because at this point, as delusional as it may sound, I still felt like the following year I could have went out and got drafted just because I threw hard. But yeah. So at that point, I was just like, all right, well, if I go out there and I'm throwing bullpens and it's 95 plus and everyone's just like, well, why aren't you playing pro? And then there's other people in the comment sections writing like, this guy can't throw a strike to save his life. Look up his stats. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to make this nickname, put it as my username. People will wonder why this is the case. And from that point forward, I was like, just put it in there, a 60 ERA guy, and the rest is history.
Mike, I appreciate it because, the reason I didn't play baseball was just a game of failure. You know me emotionally, I'm just not set for this game.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he can look at that, make, a name out of it and live comfortably is the very reason why I didn't play and why he was made for that, because I don't want to be noticed for anything that has a negative connotation with me, whereas he's having fun with it. Like, why not embrace it?
That's everything. I mean, that's everything, man. And for you to be able to do that, I mean, you could have wrote the guy who throws 102. You know what I mean? But like at the end of the day, it's like it's that humble beginning of what baseball really is. You know what I mean? Like it's just going to be one of those things that I think catches on a lot more and more than likely resonates with more people than it won't. You know what I mean? There's not if you wrote I'm the 2.5 ERA guy, there's only a handful of guys that are going to resonate with that, like Paul Skeens and a couple other cats. But like 60 ERA,
Paul's got a higher ERA than me at the moment.
Hey, you did that to our guy.
6.7. Hey, I'm just saying. All I'm saying is that there's a handful of guys who played at an elite level in the college game, but there's so many guys who played here and just did it for the love of the game. You know what I mean? Whether they're in the pros now or they're selling cars or whatever the case may be, it's just a blast, man. But Joey,
when was the last time Paul answered you after you took a dig at him about getting taken yard by the Cubs? So I'm just saying, last time you joked with Paul, it didn't end so well for us.
The last time I talked to Paul Skeens, I told him Nico Horner took him yard. But guess what? Yesterday, Nico Horner signed a 6-year extension. And yesterday, Paul Skeens started the year with a 67 ERA. So I still, a year later, staying true to that comment. Nico Suave is the fucking man. He's fucking man.
Oh, there he went. 2 F-bombs.
That's what you get out of me. We're back on Joey.
Make sure that I have to work on my editing, and it kills me.
We're fine. I'm giving you something to do on a Good Friday. You know what I mean? But Joey, I've made content for little over half a decade now, and there are videos that I feel like did not get any love that were some of my favorite ones I've ever made. And then there's ones that I thought were the dumbest posts I've ever made. And for some reason, they get millions of views. So for you, whether it's the most popular one or not, what is your favorite video you've made so far, bro?
My favorite one is I went to Dave & Buster's and broke the record on that like pitch machine, the fastest ever. That did well, but my most viral one ever, and I don't think I'll ever top it. I was at this public park literally right after the college baseball season ended because we didn't make playoffs. And it's Memorial Day weekend. We're down there throwing in New Jersey at this random, there's dogs walking all around, just a dog park, but it had a pretty nice mound. So I was throwing on it. This is 2023, so 3 years ago. And me and my buddy that we just got back, he's throwing, I'm throwing. He threw his pen. Now it's my turn. And we're throwing at this chair because we couldn't get a kid to catch for us. And sure enough, this group of people come to the field, and they have a bunch of little kids. They were going to do like a little wiffle ball game for Memorial Day. I'm just finishing up my throwing, and they were not very patient. So they were getting a little upset that I was still throwing when they felt they were obligated to have home plate on this big field where you could have played wiffle ball anywhere. And we get out there, I'm throwing. And then this one guy just completely lost his patience. I'm still rolling on the camera just with the video. And he's yelling at me, like, get off the field, like, da-da-da. And I'm like, I just want to finish my bullpen kind of mentality. I had like 10 throws to go. And then it just goes back and forth for like a minute. And then he's like, all right, go ahead, throw. I want to see how good you are. And I was like, all right, I'll throw 95 right now for you. And at this point, I hadn't thrown a pitch above 92. I get up there, I sling it mid-throw. He goes, it better hit the chair too. 95 knocks down the chair, blows it apart. Like, coolest video of all time. Nice. Completely not staged, like just completely just real life encounter in New Jersey.
What did he say afterward?
He's like, okay, you're good. Yeah. That was it.
That guy from New Jersey was Paulie Walnuts, in case anybody was wondering.
He kind of looked like him. I'm not even gonna lie. He wasn't on camera, thank God, because that would have been a lot worse. But
oh yeah, you would have to take down the video, whatever the case may be. Yeah, whole thing. Smart man, smart. Joey's ahead of his time. He understood what it. Get the voice, not the face. That's everything.
Exactly.
But you kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, you know, Vandy and a couple other teams that you were really interested in as a kid. Is there any allegiance that you currently have to an MLB team or a college baseball team going into this year?
Yankees always. I
Yeah.
mean, I just can't like not root for them, even though I'm very frustrated with them lately. I'd
Yeah.
like to
Yeah.
see a World Series where I'm a bit more conscious minded. Last time they won, I was only 7 years old, so uh, I'd still hold an allegiance there. I'd like to see Judge be a little bit more clutch personally, and then with college, with Vitello leaving, I'm kind of not so as allegiant to Tennessee, but
I like this guy. I like this guy, Joey. He needs to come on the show more.
I got a kid that I'm coaching that he's probably going to play some serious SEC ball in a couple of years. He's a 2028 grad, and depending on where he goes, I'll probably have some allegiance to that team.
Yeah, for sure. And see, that's love, bro. Like that's the cool part of it, where it's like I said at the top of the show, like even if it's not Tennessee, like we'll follow whoever comes on the show, and like we have good relationship with. Like that's part of the game. That's just so much fun. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
Mike, what's beautiful in a time like right now, as an LSU fan, it is not good, but like I'll be tonight, I will be in Oxford for Ole Miss, Mississippi State, where there will be 10 guests on display, and I don't have to live or die with if LSU loses or not. I'm going to go enjoy great baseball and watch guys we've had on the show and know. And so that's what makes what we do beautiful, right? Like, because LSU fans are losing sleep at night. Not me. And especially because we won 2 of the last 3, Mike. These fans, man, there's some spoiled brats around here, but I'm sure you're not surprised.
I swear. Meanwhile, I'm in Chicago, and we ain't talking about no national championship at UIC or DePaul or Northwestern. Come on,
Mike, I was looking yesterday. Kids started following me on Instagram. Anyway, pretty good for Illinois. As we know, Illinois is not particularly the best. You know, Big Ten baseball is what it is. But I thought, you know what, I need to get an Illinois baseball player on here for Mike and just talk Illinois ball just to give it its respect, give it its due.
a lot of ballers over here, man. They just usually end up going play somewhere else. But Joey, right now there is a plethora of guys throwing over 100 miles an hour, which is crazy when you really look at it. Like when we were kids, man, it was just like a couple of guys who really just cranked 100 on a consistent level. They usually didn't last too long. Now you got guys pumping 105 like it's nothing at 19. So who are a couple guys in Major League Baseball right now? Not only are you a fan of, but if you had to coach a kid and say, hey, watch these guys starts, who are those guys you're naming?
In terms of starters, I really like Luis Severino, and that's just bias from New York. But Severino is one of my favorites. Just his competitive fire when he's out there. Obviously, Skeens is really good, super talented arm. Screwball, I mean, kind of generic answers here, but my biggest inspiration is watching before he passed Jose Fernandez, and I love watching Aroldis Chapman. Those are like my 2 favorites.
Yeah, I love that. Jose was one of those guys, like I always wanted to end up a New York Yankee or a Chicago Cub. Like I think, yeah, and honestly, I could say because we knew Miami was going to be that bad, but even looking back on it, understanding that they were going to have a prime Stanton, they were going to have Yelich in his prime, they were going to have Fernandez, like JT was still over there, like that Miami team. You're bringing me flashbacks right now, even thinking about it. But those guys, man, those guys were nails, and I think the future was so bright with that group, man. And dang, that's what an answer. Like I said, Joey can come on the show anytime. Joey just pulls out memories out of his hat. It's crazy.
I don't know, man. He started naming the relievers and who's throwing fast, and he didn't name my guy Ben Joyce. I'm a little bothered.
Ben Joyce is a good inspiration too. So when I throw, I like to take a lot of inspiration from a lot of different people and sort of like learning how I can improve my own throw. And my only goal with trying to throw hard right now is to optimize whatever my genetic capability was. And that's literally it. I just want to do it to have fun. I love to throw the ball, and I want to see how far my genetics can go. I learned a ton of stuff from watching him. I learned a ton of stuff watching Aroldis Chapman, Ventura. I would say those 3 in terms of velocity. I learned so much from those 3, just analyzing like, what do they do? How can I apply it to what I do? I mean, one of the biggest breakthroughs I had after I got that 60 ERA season was I tried a full offseason of copying Ben Joyce's arm action, and it totally fixed me. I hit 95 in high school. Once I got hurt, I was like 90, 93-ish for 2 years straight. Once I did that, I ended up hitting 98. So I definitely give him some credit there. just
if there's anything I would tell people to copy on Ben, it's his loyalty. It's a man of his word. I don't know if you know this, but the reason why he went to Walters Community College, he could have went anywhere his freshman year. He ended up shooting up 9 inches his senior year. Velo went up literally over 10 miles an hour, but they were the only one that gave him an offer his junior year, and he, of course, accepted it. He stayed loyal to that because they were the only ones that didn't jump to all the other schools and gave them a year of his time. And so shout out to the coach at Walters who, found the hidden gem in the rough, and then shout out to Ben for, staying, because – let's think about it, Joey. I mean, how many guys are actually honoring that? Especially the next thing you know, they're pumping mid-90s, and every school in the country is calling them.
Yeah, 100%.
Loyalty is important.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I got one last one for you, Joey, and then I'm gonna leave you alone. I'll let Jim handle the this or that. But here's my question. The second I watched your videos, you ever watch Rookie of the Year?
I have, yeah.
Now, traditionally, if somebody hits a home run on the opposite team, you're supposed to throw it back. Now, unfortunately, it normally goes to a guy who's had about 8 beers before 8 a.m. So he kind of just he grabs it and he just kind of throws it into the outfield. Knowing how hard you can throw, if you were to catch an opposite team's home run ball, are you launching that thing as far as you can? Are you trying to hit the catcher? Are you trying to get it to mid infield, or are you just lobbing it in there?
Personally, I don't get too emotionally attached to professional baseball games if I'm a spectator for it. But sure. I there's no doubt in my mind if I needed to, I could throw it to home plate for sure. Yeah.
I've never really seen anyone really try to do it on a consistent basis. And I saw it happen yesterday, and I was just like, I thought of you, and I was like, man, I bet Joey could just piss rocket this thing all day.
I never thought of it till you just brought it up, and I started picturing it in my head, and I was like, that's phenomenal.
Why not? And then next thing you know, Joey gets a call by a AAA team, and there he is. You know what I mean? Now he's out there, and it's just we got to go make it happen, man. We got to go make it happen.
I've done it the other way where I start at home plate and throw it over dead center, but I've never done it the opposite. Yeah.
We used to end every practice like that in high school to see who could do it. And it was always my buddy Scott Gates. Scott Gates could hit a lamppost from 500 feet away. He's the craziest guy ever.
Yeah. Just 2 years ago, Trayson Hughes, who's now at Virginia Tech, he was at Ole Miss, Mike, and he was standing at the right field foul pole line, and he was throwing it to the other line, the left field line, and he wasn't even taking a step forward. He was just doing it flat-footed. And I was like, are you kidding me, bro? I don't know, man. Some dudes just got it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But before we let you out of here, Joey, we play a game with every guest. Sometimes it's this or that, like Mike said. Or for a guy like you, we're not letting you off the hook. We're going to do blind rankings. I got 7 in off the bench guest pitchers. There's probably been 200, so it could be a number of them. But specifically, I'm going to go with the more higher profile guys. You don't know who's coming, but you got to blind rank them. 7 guys in order. You down to play?
Let's do it.
All right, off the top, where are you putting our guy Chase Dolander, 1 through 7?
2020, was it 23? No, 2022 Chase was nasty.
He's still not. I'll be honest. The development in the Rockies organization isn't exactly the most ideal spot for him, but he's still doing his thing. I mean, he's an opening day starter.
1 through 7, you said?
Yeah.
2.
All right. Yeah. We'll see how that works out. All right. Number 3 overall pick, hasn't thrown in the MLB yet, but in spring training, absolutely shoving. Cade Anderson of LSU now with Seattle.
I don't think he's as good as Chase, so I'm going to go 4. Mm-hmm. Still super good, obviously, but
yeah.
All right, now we get to our guy Ben Joyce. Where are we falling with the guy who's throwing 105?
That's tough. Just because you threw out 2 starters and I ranked them up in that range, I'm assuming starters, so we'll probably go 5.
All right. I had to put this one on here, Mike. Coming off the World Baseball Classic and the way he shoved, Dylan DeLucia of the Cleveland Guardians organization absolutely doing his thing for Team Italy.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how much of the World Baseball Classic you got to see with Italy, but he had 4 appearances and was fantastic. So where are we putting Dylan DeLucia?
Can you give me a preview of his stuff? I actually haven't watched him before.
Oh, man. Then you know what? probably if you haven't even seen him, he was the 2022 College World Series MVP for Ole Miss. Remember that guy? He ended up shoving for a complete game on Arkansas. You don't remember him?
Yep, I remember him now. I think we'll go 3.
All right. Seth Halverson throwing 103 himself. Closer for the Rockies.
Super impressive, but in the grand scheme, I got to go 6.
Now, are you putting him at 6 because you know that one spot is something nasty?
I have no idea. It's blind range, right?
Because that's always my thinking.
These next 2 are going to be problematic because he put Dolander at 2, and you said because you knew there would be a couple dogs on the back end. So one of these guys is going to get the 7th spot and not deserve it. But the question is, who's he going to go with? And he doesn't know the order they're coming. So Chase Burns is the next one.
1. Even if Skeens is 7, I'm putting Chase number 1.
It is, and so Skeens would be 7.
So be it.
Look,
it is.
Look,
Burns. I've said this to you a million times, Mike. Burns' potential is higher than
Skeens. It is. But look, I'm just defending Joey here. Only one of those guys has a 67 ERA right now, and for him to be at 7
makes sense.
Makes sense. Joey's got. Hey, look. As of what is today, March 27, 2026, this is a valid list. Stephen A. Smith would agree with this list.
No, I'm glad that you agreed, Mike, and I think Joey agrees. Like people who actually pay attention and watch Burns and the potential that he has, and this goes back to the Tennessee thing since he is a Tennessee guy. Like when that 2023 season, everybody knew the capability of what he had, and then he goes to Wake Forest and does his thing, and so the sky's the limit. His slider is as nasty as it gets.
Man, it's insane. I just got to see it in person last year, and it's just
have you got to see him pitch in person, Joey?
I have not in person, no, but he's nasty. I know that.
He is worth the view to get somewhere behind home plate so you can actually watch that thing and watch the horizontal break on it. It is crazy.
Yeah, I think his stuff's some of the best in the world. So
yeah.
I mean, it was. I guess we know his opinion on him, Mike. I mean, he was quick to say, "I don't care if Skeens is last. He's going number 1."
Yeah, 100%. That's what we rock with Joey. When we rock with Joey for rocking with our guy Chase, man. It's been a blast, man. Joey, the 60 ERA guy. Check him out on all social media platforms. He's doing his thing. We appreciate you being here, man. This is another episode of In Off the Bench. Normally we're in Pros and Joes, but the season's here. So you'll see my face whenever Jim feels like it, and we'll have a blast. We got some stuff going on this weekend with In Off the Bench and our guy Connor Griffin. That's going to be a lot of fun. Boots on the ground, going there for his first AAA game. They got me going all the way to Indiana, and it's not for the Bears. So we'll see how it is. I'll let y'all know if it's worth moving over there. But Joey, man, we appreciate you being here. Appreciate you coming in, man, and I can't wait to see what you do next, bro.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. That's Joey Laurer, everybody. We'll see you next week. You look like